What's going on, guys? It's Jimmy here. Welcome to our daily show where we discuss everything going on here in our country on a daily basis, including money, investing, the stock market, the fourth stimulus package update, and a stimulus check update. If you haven't subscribed here, make sure to click the subscribe button down below. It's completely free to do so. And I will keep you up to date here with everything. Also, thanks for hitting the like button for us down below. We got a lot to talk about here. The IRS may owe you money. I'll show you here that. And things are heating up here with Putin and Europe. Yeah. Russia is now going to cut off Finland from their gas, as Russia is now cutting off multiple different countries from their gas. But remember that the EU has also announced that they're weaning off their gas as well. So the question here is, who's going to be buying Russian gas here? Let's fast forward maybe a year from now. Who's going to be left buying Russian gas? Uh, yeah, it's going to be a head scratcher, right? Yeah, Russia is cutting off its supply of natural gas to Finland as of, well, already. Russia literally threatened nuclear war if Sweden and Finland joined NATO here previously. And well, that made Sweden and Finland want to join NATO even more because, I mean, if you're not in NATO, which is all these different countries, including the United States and most of Europe, well, then you're unprotected, just like Ukraine. But if you're in NATO, you have the United States and all these different countries here in Europe as part of your team. And if you attack one single country in NATO, well, it's a declaration of war against all of them. So you basically can't attack any of them, or else it's war against all of them. So Russia literally threatened that if you join NATO, we're gonna hit you with nukes. This guy is unbelievable. It's unbelievable, right? So Finnish energy company Gazprom on Friday said it had been notified by Russian energy giant Gazprom that it would shut off its supply of gas the next day. Talking about fast, right? The announcement comes as Russia demands that Finland pay for natural gas in rubles, which Finland has refused to do, and things are escalating quickly. It adds a new layer of the escalating energy fight between Russia and much of Europe, fueled by the war in Ukraine. The European Union earlier this month proposed an oil ban on imports from Russia this week. The EU has unveiled details on its plan to reduce its dependence on Russian natural gas. Russia has already cut off gas to Poland and Bulgaria as well. And President Biden has hailed the efforts of Finland and Sweden to join NATO after decades outside of, well, not being in NATO. Well, Sweden and Finland have both formally applied to join NATO because, well, Russia threatened them with nuclear war. And so, well, they realized that if they don't join NATO, Russia could attack them at any given moment. Turkey's president, who's part of NATO, seems like he's something, right? Confirms he's blocking Finland and Sweden from joining NATO after hinting he wants concessions first. He's one of those guys, right? So he says, well, because the problem is to join NATO, everybody has to agree. It has to be unanimous. He's like, well, I'm not gonna let him join until I get something first. We need to get something first. We need concessions first. He's one of those guys, right? But U.S. National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan said, quote, "We will not tolerate any aggression towards Sweden or Finland during the NATO process of having them come into NATO." So it would be, I don't know, if Russia attacked them during this initiation process, what would happen would be unbelievable. And I wouldn't put it past Russia. I mean, what would happen would be unbelievable. We would have to see here. And it really kind of makes us wonder, how long will this war go on? The longer this war in Ukraine with Russia goes on, the longer gas prices are going to stay high. We had in the last video, we had an interview say that diesel prices in some areas like California are above $7 a gallon. We're at record high prices here. That's the equivalency to $300 a barrel, even though gas prices or oil prices are only at $110 a barrel. This is because oil companies are just gouging us. They're just charging us whatever they want to. And they're just charging us way more than the actual price of oil. So, and the problem is, the longer that war goes on as well, it's just help exacerbating prices of gas, prices of oil, prices of food, and also the threat of World War III. I mean, Putin, I almost said Hitler for a second there, but it wouldn't be that much of a Freudian slip, right? Um, they're almost interchangeable. I know you can't make this stuff up, but the longer this goes on, the longer inflation is going to be exacerbated and kept high, kept artificially higher than it needs to be, right? You could see here, inflation could force consumers to cut back on spending so much that it could bring on a recession. And we just came out of a recession. But this inflation is so high that the problem is like basically the lower half of people that are low income, middle low income, fixed income are dealing with this inflation so bad that they just are struggling with it so bad. It's unbearable. It's unbearable. Anybody on fixed income or lower income, middle low income are just are struggling so bad to deal with it. And that's where we have so many people saying to the government, we need a forced stimulus check. We need raises on Social Security. We need you to bring the child tax credits back. Like, what is going on with that? Joe Manchin is, what is going on with that guy? And student loan forgiveness would be welcome for over 40 million Americans. Thank God they have paused that for over 2 years. Remember, the average student loan payment is like $5,000 a year. Imagine when that gets restarted and inflation is over 8% a year. Uh, Imagine how 40 plus million Americans are going to be able to pay for that as an additional expense that is going to re-kick in. So you look at all these different things here, and remember, the problem with like student loans is that a lot of Americans didn't even get a degree out of it. Life happened, they weren't able to finish college, they only went for a couple years, they got pregnant, they started a family, things didn't work out, whatever the reason, right? And they still ended up with tens of thousands of dollars of student loans. And nowadays college can be $10,000, $20,000 plus for a single year of college. Yeah, it's a laughing matter, but not, right? College and medical expenses are like the two things that are just the out of this world prices. Just every year it's just like, how can they raise the prices that much? And it's like, well, because they can. It's like the price of gas and the price of food, right? It's like you really, like, they charge whatever they want, and it's just like, well, what other choice do you have, right? If you need to go to college to get a degree, if you need food to eat, you need gas to get to work. It's just like, yeah, there's so many problems with the world today that are hard fixes. Like, what do you do with the price of food? What do you do with the price of gas? And the Democrats, I'll show you. Yeah, you can see here, House Democrats pass bill against gas price gouging with no Republican votes. Yeah, and I'm kind of disappointed in this one, man. And the problem is this is probably not going to be able to be passed in the Senate because they're going to need Republican votes. And it's just I don't know. I had higher hopes for the Republicans on this one. I You can let me know your thoughts here on this one, but these oil companies, these gas companies, man, I don't know. I just feel like I don't know. You can let me know your thoughts. I feel like these gas companies need to be held accountable. And it makes you wonder, are these gas companies and oil companies contributing to campaign funds too much? Are they untouchable? Are they allowed to get away with whatever they want? This is the problem here. Like, they're charging more and more not based on the price of oil. It's just ridiculous. And look at this. Look at this headline here. Gas prices are headed to $6 a gallon in the US as the summer driving season kicks off, says JP Morgan. Says JP Morgan. So it's just like, how high can they go? And guess what? Oil prices are relatively staying about the same, the price of a barrel of oil. So if oil prices are relatively in the same range, why do gas prices keep going higher? And the reality of it is these oil companies are just gouging us. Yeah, you can see here the price of oil, WTI crude, Brent crude, 112, 113, relatively the same price. I mean, yeah, they're up $1, okay? But again, 1%, relatively the same range, right? Relatively the same range. But yet the price of gas here just continues to go up. Continues to go up. We're at $4.59, almost 4.60 a gallon nationally here on the average. A month ago was 4.11. A week ago was 4.43. I mean, why is it going up? Why is it going up if the price of oil is basically the same? Yeah, it goes up $1, goes down $1 for the price of barrel of oil. It goes up 1%, it goes down 1%. It goes down 2%, up 2%. Why has it gone up? What is that? 48 cents in a month? These gas companies are just completely gouging us. Completely gouging us. That's why I don't understand why no Republicans, they all voted no to holding these gas companies and oil companies accountable for a gas price gouging bill. We want to just let these gas companies do whatever they want. I don't get it. You tell me. Look at these prices, right? This is just this is just insane. And what does this message send? They can just keep raising the prices. They just keep going up, keep going up. Now we are seeing a lot of states that are both Republicans and Democrats, based on different states here. Really, just depends on the state here. You can see here, Indiana Democrats renew push to halt gas tax. Currently, Hoosiers pay 74.5 cents per gallon in state and federal taxes when they fill up. Whew, my goodness. Lord help me. That's expensive. I'm having heart palpitations just thinking about that. Oh my goodness. An Indiana lawmaker handed out $15 gift cards Tuesday as an effort to highlight his stance that lawmakers should temporarily halt Indiana gas tax. They pay 74.5 cents per gallon in state and federal taxes when they fill up. Quote, to not provide relief in times like these, to me, is unacceptable, said Representative Mitch Gore, Maybe it's the brother of Al Gore, a Democrat from Indianapolis. Governor Eric Holcomb said in a statement for Indiana governor to suspend the gas tax through a declaration of energy emergency, the state must have an existing or projected energy shortfall that would jeopardize life, health, and property. We have not met that threshold. INDOT and Office of Energy Development have both confirmed that we do not have a shortage or a projected shortfall. The states that have suspended the gas tax thus far have done through legislature, which is true. They have to pass it through their state legislature. Gore understands, but Holcomb could call a special session so lawmakers can halt the tax. He argued Indiana has the money, pointing to the state's multi-billion-dollar surplus. He handed out $15 gift cards because that's on the high end of what some Hoosiers call could save without the tax, which is 56 cents per gallon. Ooh, that's like one of the highest. That in Pennsylvania and California got to be the three highest. Yeah. And I guess you can see a picture of him handing out the gas cards here. Good for him. Good for him. And apparently, the state of Pennsylvania and other states as well are maybe taking baby steps away from a gas tax and moving towards a fee for miles driven instead, because they got to pay for the roads and services somehow. Remember that paying for roads and police, fire, all these different things are not free and they cost a lot of money. Money's got to come from somewhere. Money's got to come from somewhere. Following a slowly growing national movement, Pennsylvania may be ready to try the idea of charging drivers a mileage-based fee to make up millions in transportation revenues lost to a more fuel-efficient hybrid and electric cars. All right. The Pennsylvania Department of Transportation acting executive deputy secretary said the department is working with the General Assembly to draft legislation establishing fees for those who pay little or nothing towards road maintenance. That's because the state gets about 75% of its road money from the gasoline tax. The commission appointed last year by Governor Tom Wolf recommended a series of steps to phase out reliance on the gasoline tax, including creating a method for hybrid and electric vehicle owners to help pay for the transportation costs. There's still a lot to figure out. Oregon has a voluntarily program since 2015. Utah started a similar one in 2018, and Virginia followed in 2019. The federal infrastructure bill includes money for a national pilot program, but nothing has been established yet. The problem is that states rely on gasoline taxes for transportation funding have seen that money stagnate or in some cases decrease because of more fuel efficient vehicles and the growing popularity of electric vehicles. But the pandemic has kept some drivers home with the Biden administration's multi-billion-dollar push to increase charging stations to grow the number of electric vehicles. The problem is only going to get worse. They'll figure this out in the future. In Pennsylvania, the Wolf administration last year set a goal of phasing out the gasoline tax, which is among the highest in the country at 57.6 cents a gallon, and replacing it with a mileage-based fee. The state spends about $6.9 billion a year on roads and bridges, but says it should spend $15 billion a year. If you've ever seen wintertime in Ohio or Pennsylvania, the roads need a lot of maintenance, probably anywhere in the northern states, And a lot of plowing and a lot of potholes, right? The state is considering a two-option program for hybrid or electric vehicle owners, a flat annual fee or a fee based on actual miles driven for those who don't drive as much. The mileage fee for a year could be no higher than the annual fee. How they'll figure this out is they'd have to have some kind of device in your car. That the annual passenger vehicle would pay 2.9 cents per mile in gas taxes compared to 0.7 cents for hybrid fee. I guess that this is what they figured it out. A gasoline powered vehicle travels 14,000 a year pays roughly $400 a year in gas taxes right now. In comparison, they said it's going to be interesting to see how they set this fee. You certainly don't want to punish people who drive electric vehicles or hybrids by making them pay too much because it's a good thing that they're doing overall. Yeah, so yeah, good old Big Brother tracking your miles and your gas mileage. Seems like a never-ending government trying to get you to pay money for pretty much everything. You know, the good old governments in the states. Doesn't matter what state you're in. Yeah. Let me know your thoughts here in the comments. I'll keep you up to date here. Make sure to subscribe down below to our our YouTube channel. New videos come out here every day at 10 a.m., 3 p.m., 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Guess what? Subscribing to our YouTube channel is completely free to do so. No gas taxes or fees here. So yeah, let me know your thoughts here. I'll keep you up to date. You can click here to watch my newest video next, and you can click here to see my newest stimulus check video from lots of states that are actually giving money back. So click on one of those videos next. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next video.